conversations we have to have tonight.
It's love that I can't deny, won't even start to lie. I'm caught up in this love affair. Baby, 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 you, baby, baby, baby. Y'all don't know that song. Who know that song? Who know that song? Oh my gosh, what a long time it's been, huh? Wow, what a long time it's been. Thank you for your patience while I took a much needed break from this channel. Not that this channel is a burden, but I did go through something very personal that I just needed to take a moment to step away. But being here is my passion, being here is my love. Speaking to you all is a highlight, a joy of my life. So I'm definitely happy to be back. I hope you guys checked out my last video, which was my Emmys nominations review, Black AF, of course. I hope y'all were there for that one. If you guys are not a patron, you missed my dissection of how Stella got her groove back with the king of reads himself, Justin J. That is on Patreon right now. And this Sunday, I will be joining my patrons live. Some of them will join me live on video to dissect, what is it, Gunpowder Milkshake? The new film on Netflix, which patrons are already letting me know how much they enjoyed the movie. I'm excited to watch. I am tuning in for Angela Bassett. Like, come on. Angela Bassett is gonna be beating ass. What more could I ask for? Angela Bassett is gonna be beating ass. So we in there like swimwear, patreon.com/JustLatasha. Catch up on all of the content. We're here. Happy Monday. We're here every Monday night, 6 p.m. EST. Shout out to New York City, Brooklyn, baby, is where I hail from and speak to you all. And I feel like I should have started Dave earlier to dissect possibly the series, but let me tell y'all something about this series, okay? Oh, my friend Court's here. What up, Court? Love you, boo. Let me tell y'all something about this series. Season 1 was fire. Season 1 was so damn fire. And it really covered Dave on his come up. He was nameless. He was broke. It was just him and Gator hitting the streets, trying to get recognized, trying to get signed, trying to go viral. And I really appreciate stories that have that hustle. So when we come back from season 2, and he's like this star, to me, the season 2 premiere specifically, season 2, episode 1, to me, it lost a little bit of its like its zhuzh. It lost a little bit of its pizzazz. I really enjoy the struggle, and I really, not to compare it to Atlanta, and I'm going to apologize for referring to Dave as the white Atlanta. It really is much more unique and much more specific than that. Dave actually has a very clear point of view and something very valuable to say. But Atlanta stays in that struggle and that come up. So for him to so drastically be the star of season 2, I don't know, it felt off. I stopped the series and then I binged watched it maybe like a few days ago, and I was like, oh, it's still phenomenal. I was wilding, it's still phenomenal. So season 2 is still phenomenal. And see, the finale of season 1 was outstanding. I really have no other words. I've watched that episode multiple times because as a creative, it spoke right there to the heart space, right there to the heart. So I really enjoy Dave. And here's the thing about Dave. He, the comedy seems surface level, slapsticky, but he's asking such heavy moral, philosophical, socially critical analysis questions. And I enjoy that. And so tonight we're specifically discussing season 2, episode 6, Somebody Date Me, featuring Miss Doja Cat with her acting debut. And I watched the episode and I was like, oh yeah, I like this. Like it's funny, it's cheeky, it's stupid, it's Dave. And then I spent time with the episode and I was like, where was I? Probably playing The Sims while it was playing in the background. But the discussions we are going to have tonight are so deep. And I don't know how he hid this level of conversation in the way that this script is written and the way that he performs his character. Slipped it right by me. So without further ado, Somebody Date Me, featuring Doja Cat, directed by Tayarisha Poe. I didn't want to mess up her name. Tayarisha Poe, who was the writer director of Stella and the Spades. Black woman director on this. And of course, after you guys see the discussion we're going to have tonight, of course. All right, let's dive in to none other than Miss Doja Cat. Now, the theme of this episode is the fact that there are two sides to Doja Cat. And we see this really thematically, visually, because she's often filmed in reflections and mirrors. A large portion of the first half of this episode, we only see her through a mirror reflection. We don't see Doja in the real element. And then in the latter half, we do, and then the mirrors disappear, and I'll explain why that is. But we're meeting the artist and the woman. And you can see here from the bottom left on the text messages how it's split right in the middle from her personal, who is she dating, who is the woman, Doja, right? Versus all the stuff she has on her calendar because she has to get up and perform Doja Cat. So we're meeting two sides of this lovely woman. So I thought it was interesting because this show is obviously from Dave's point of view. So I'm wondering if the camera is intentionally objectifying her. The way they start on the thigh, the crotch, the butt, how we see that before we see her. And it's so interesting that it's shot that way because she's looking to connect with someone. So we're trying to get to know her as a woman, but the camera and the audience and Dave and everyone around her in this world can't quite see her. I thought that was very interesting. I'm going to break down even more. So the color green pops out, right? And we can see when we meet Doja, it's fully behind her. But when we finally see Dave, who she's connecting with on a love app, this green appears phallic. And if you've been watching Dave, if you're familiar with this show at all, he talks about his penis a lot, like a lot. So we meet the setting behind Doja, but we meet this sort of phallic item from Dave. You can already start to guess what his intentions is in this love connection, right? Doja's looking for this love, this romance. She's covered in pink, this delicate, feminine, beautiful pink, right? But Dave has pink and green on. So here's what I decided. I decided that the colors mean. If you have different theories, I am not the end all be all. I am not God. Please put it in the comments if you have any other ideas. I'd love to hear them. I think pink and green, specifically for the context of this episode, means romance and money. So here's how I'm gonna break it down. Doja in the moment is all about romance. She's wearing pink, but the money, the fame, all that back there, that's gonna have to wait. That's not in her world right now. That's not in her mind. It's not of her essence. But Dave has on green and pink. He has on the romance and the money. Here's the thing, and we really get to see this as the episode goes further. If Dave hooks up with Doja, he can utilize both romance and money to his benefit. How? He's an up-and-coming star. She's a mega star. If he dates her and is seen with her, he could ride on her stardom on the way to his own success. It be niggas like that. Hey, DJ. Men really do that. They really do that. But he's not like conscious of it. He thinks this is just a really cool connection, and he's really excited that he even has this woman's attention. But how is he going to use it? So let's look further. Look, they vibing. They really are vibing. It's working. It's cute. It's connecting, right? But are they? But are they though? Staying with the idea of the purples, pinks, the romance, all of that color, where she kind of sends, where Dave sends this text, but we see it in purple. There's sort of this blurred line between actually connecting for love and romance versus clout. It's that conversation between the pink and the green, right? So when he's doing the romance thing, he's like, we can have kids, we can name them, it's gonna be cute, this is what our family could be like, this is what, But in the green text, that money, that clout green, he's sort of linking their stage names. If I'm Lil Dicky and you Doja Cat, what are the public gonna call us? We could be a power couple. Short story, y'all. There's this huge influencer who's my friend. We were at an event together, and I saw this other guy who's kind of popping in his own world and got built up a nice, great audience for himself as well. Sees her, sees my friend. It's like he didn't even like see the woman. He just saw, yo, if me and you get together, we would be a power couple. Like that was his line. Do you know how he's taking, he's using, he's clawing into her? Like she didn't even, did you care like at all that there's an actual woman in front of you? I thought that was the grossest thing I've ever seen. And so when I'm seeing this and Lil Dicky's worried about their stage names and worried about being a power couple and going after that little fame angle, I don't like that. I ain't like that. Here's a really interesting thing with this episode of Dave. This episode really empathizes with Doja Cat while also objectifying her. They're riding the line. Interesting. So when she's in the real world and we don't see the reflections, we don't see the mirrors or the screens, she's Doja Cat. She is this performance. This is who she inevitably has to be in her day-to-day life, right? And while she's constantly being ogled and observed and we're watching Doja Cat, she's simultaneously being severely misunderstood. Her team didn't schedule her lunch. Like she's a person, she has to eat, right? She's not some workhorse. She goes on Instagram Live where the comments are rude and invasive. It's like, is her name Amala? Any Doja stands here? Where does Amala actually exist? Where does this woman actually exist? And I thought it was so interesting because as we move further into the episode from how we originally met her, she's adding to her appearance, putting on the makeup, putting on the clothes, putting on the wig. You see her adding these layers and these masks to become the fully realized performance of herself. Right? She has to create this dolled up persona for people to use and to profit, to take and subtract from her. Yeah. Cora said they told her to eat lunch in the car. The audacity. She can't get a hot meal and sit down for 30, 40 minutes as requested. You need to squeeze more work into there from her. It's hard out here, boy. I tell you, it's hard out here. I want to talk about another color. We discussed pink, the romance. We discussed green, the money. But there was another color here that was prevalent, and that is yellow. So let's break down where we saw yellow. In the beginning, when Dave first speaks to Doja Cat on this love app, he's talking to Gata. And Gata's just this regular guy. He's not famous like Dave. He don't get to the money like Dave's producer in the room. He's the hype man and the best friend. He's the hype man. And the way Gata has to maneuver dating is to go about it in the sugar baby way. Because no shade. What else does Gata have to offer? Sorry, I didn't mean it like that, but I mean it like that. What else does he have to offer? So Gata goes about dating in a taking form because he doesn't have anything else. Ugh. Let's talk about Sadie. Sadie is the lovely girl who's also a dating option for Dave in the bottom left photo, who Doja Cat or Sadie. And Sadie was also wearing yellow. Now, here's the thing. He finds Sadie on a particular dating app, which he describes as, and I quote, for really successful men or really hot girls. That's the choices on this dating app. Really successful men or really hot girls. Now, here's the thing about patriarchy, and I'm gonna break it on down. Shout out to the god Aisha K. Faines, right? Between men and women, money and beauty are equally as powerful. That's how patriarchy works. In exchange for my money, I get to have the most beautiful woman. I earned that. That's how these two can coexist on this dating app. That summarizes dating and the relations between cisgender heterosexual men and women anyway. So Sadie is regular, yellow, but because she's beautiful, she gets to be on the site to be chose by successful men. Dave loves this site. He considers himself this ever-growing successful man who has earned himself access to the most beautiful women in the world. So why is Doja in yellow? Here's my take. Doja Cat's almighty sword to her success is how real she is, right? She's fun, she's relatable, and every time you see her in live, she don't give an F what she looks like. We constantly have access to the deconstructed version of Doja Cat. No makeup, wig tilted, edges gone, head big. Like, Doja just be real as hell, right? So even when she's performing, even when she's becoming this mask of herself, she still is both, right? The two sides kind of meet and coexist in this space. Even when she's performing on Instagram Live, she's that real still. And so by this point of the episode, in Doja's hectic day, she makes time to go on a date with Dave. She carves out time to go meet this man who blows off the very regular Sadie. I got Doja, what I'm gonna need Sadie for? Heard you, bro. So let's see how he further engages Doja Cat. Oh my God. He's excited about meeting her, and he's speaking about Doja Cat to his parents, and this is how he handles it, because we have to have a big conversation. So when he's speaking about her to his parents, he mentions her real name and follows up with, she's famous. Ew, right? What color is he in? He's in that money green. Look at my famous option that I get to date. Look at that. And of course, I couldn't help but notice the color red right in front of his heart space. If you guys are familiar with season 1, he was in this beautiful, long, monogamous relationship with his girlfriend, Allie, I believe. And by this season, they are long gone. They are broken up. And he is still heartbroken from it. So there's this moment in this episode where he's love bombing Doja. We can get the house, we can get the kids. What are we going to name them? Moving hella fast. How about hello? How you doing? Where you from? What school did you go to? What's your favorite color? How about there was no introduction. There was no middle ground. He love bombed her. That's a red flag for me. That's a red flag for me in so many ways. We don't have the time tonight. The photo he also decides to show his parents of Doja Cat is the most hypersexualized image he can find. Her face is barely even showing, right? So here's the thing about Dave, about his character, because his character is really human and complex. Dave thinks he's progressive and respects women. And it takes his mother during this lunch to be like, no, your lyrics are actually really disgusting and misogynistic. Why do you say things like that about sex and about women? Like, why do you speak like that? And his response was, you don't understand rap music. What's up, Simone? What's up, Kay? This is a Hail Mary to masculinity and patriarchy. This is exactly how men resist being held accountable for their role in masculinity and patriarchy. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, no, it's lazy. It's lazy. And so the theme of the season as well, that there are two Daves. Dave has an idea about himself, who he thinks he is, that the world constantly disagrees with. He sees himself as this good person on a moral high ground to inspire a wide audience. But the world thinks he is actually a narcissist, shitty, egotistical, delusional human being. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Who he thinks he is and what the world is experiencing are two totally different people. That's about narcissist to me. And he's constantly positioning Doja Cat as this bragging right. Let's go a little further because I want to talk about another color that begins to appear here right at the midpoint of the episode, the color blue. If y'all have any ideas about what the color blue means, of course, drop it in the chat, but I'm going to tell you what I think it means. It's giving male gaze. It's giving ownership. It's giving male entitlements. It's giving all of that. I'll explain why. Starting with the top left, Dave would like to move the conversation with Doja Cat from the love app directly into the text. Turns blue. Then bottom left, Dave wants to reconfirm the date that she agreed to, but he's not quite hearing from her, so he hit that with that double text, right? Blue text. Why is Doja not answering? Again, this is where we see her on screen. We're seeing a projection of this woman, and she's being dressed and made up by masculine hands. Doja is not quite in control, but still attempting to be desirable and likable because she still needs access to profit and success and romance. In order for her to win, she needs to sort of be flexible and controlled by this male masculinity in this gaze. So here's the thing about male entitlement. Dave had access to her all day. She got stuff to do. She got to eat in the car. She got dance rehearsals. She got to get her makeup done. She got to her day is packed. He had access to her all day. And the moment he feels that he didn't, the moment he feels that he did not have access to her, he hit her with that double text. What up? Where you at? What? It's nasty out here. Let's have another deep conversation. Dave thinks he is progressive. Dave thinks he is progressive. And what women have been telling progressive men to do was hold your niggas accountable. That means as a progressive man, you got to stand up to the men who are doing bad to women. Oh, we got a moral decision to make. This y'all work. This is y'all work. We seen the color green, right? How do you make money in rap? How do you make money in hip hop? Use women. How do women make money in hip hop, rap, or in the music video space, or in the movie making TV? How do women access success, money? Utilizing, anchoring their beauty. They have to sell their beauty for their access to power and profit. That color red is back. We're talking about the wounds, the dangers of hip hop. We're talking about the stop of hip hop. The boys club, this tradition, this mindset, this historical, cyclical game of patriarchy. Who is going to change it? Who? Or do we just keep playing the game? Who is going to change it? Not Dave. Not Dave. Not today. Not today. Here is the most ridiculous and profound thing in this episode. Ray Shremmerd's music video, these are the rappers, by the way. Ray Shremmerd's music video is an allegory to masculinity. What this music video is supposed to represent is them releasing childhood traumas and pent-up rage and anger by screaming directly into women's asses. Isn't that ridiculous? Isn't that how men engage women in romance and sex and love? By taking and projecting all of their traumas directly into our bodies via lustful, useful sex. The taking of sex, using our bodies as pleasure zones for all the issues they will not heal and address within themselves. Dumping that stuff into our bodies, screaming right into the ass. Here's a step up. Dave tried. He tried to get out of this. He said, instead of women, why don't we use men? Like, men would be funny. I'll scream into a man's ass. Why don't we make a dick joke? AKA, what if y'all talked amongst yourselves? Why does our ass got to be the fault of your stars? Like, why are we here? Okay, why don't y'all handle it? They said no. It's going to be an absolute not, which is why we have Dave conforming. Here's also a little tiny little bit of gaslighting that Ray Shremmerd wanted to engage in. They said, these ain't hoes, these are queens. These are beautiful Black queens. They know the lingo, but on the same BS, y'all. All y'all did was adapt the lingo, but didn't change their action. Is this how you treat queens, dog? And what does Ray Shremmerd do? Just a tad bit more of gaslighting directly to Dave. What do they say? You don't understand rap music. Ding, 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 ding. Uh-oh. You a white man coming in our culture telling us how to do it. You don't even understand what's even going on here. How you going to tell us what to do with our stuff? How you going to fight that? How you going to fight that? They pinpointed racism against their own misogyny so they can get out of jail free card. That was some twisted stuff. That was twisted. Wow. And so now Dave, this character, feels trapped into wanting success and power and money and the things that he has to give up, the dignity he has to put aside, the integrity he feels he has to put aside. It'd be people like me that give it up. I don't quite care. But he feels that's a heavy price to pay, so he conforms. That's very human. It ain't right, but it's very human. Hey, Asia, welcome, boo. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Doja versus Ray Shremmerd. They put their foot in this episode. I tell you that. They put their foot in this episode. Doja is fully in work mode now, right? She's unavailable to Dave. She can't be on her phone. She has work to do. And this is the complete opposite visually from how we met her, right? When she was bare, covered in this delicate romance pink, greens to the back. She ain't worried about being Doja. But right now she's fully in Doja, right? You can see that with the green, the money green chiffon. You can see that in that boys club patriarchy blue dress. And where's the pink? All the way to the back. She can't focus on connecting with Dave right now. She got to work. But her opinion on her wardrobe was overruled by a man. Blue. There's all these cages and blockages. The scene opens where you can barely even see Doja. Like, where is she? Where can she exist? All these blockages in the room. And when she finally speaks up, uses her voice, and claims the power that she has, she is the boss of this. Y'all don't make $1 on the set without her. A male PA. Little pipsqueak on set. No offense to the PAs out there. Y'all are the backbone of the film industry. But the PA on set refers to her when she takes her own power as a woman and says, this bitch. Difficult. People are complaining about you. The photographer wasn't happy with you. You're being difficult. Versus Ray Shremmerd, who have been catered to hand and foot. They got every single thing they wanted. People are waiting with bated breath to serve them. And when they didn't get one thing that went their way, they threw a temper tantrum, cursing, screaming, stomping, and the men on set respected it. Referred to them as geniuses. I've been fans of them since forever. Look at them. Yeah, that's how you get it. So where are we? Dave loses. This is where male entitlement meets insecurity. Dave loses. He loses, Doja, by projecting his deep-seated fear of being rejected and being regular. When he's blowing up her phone, when he's hitting her over the head with all these texts, when he's being rambunctious, what color is he wearing? Yellow. That deep-seated fear of being rejected because at the end of the day, he might just be regular. Is Dave's money and fame a cover-up for how insignificant he feels he is? And you can only imagine how many people we can apply that knowledge to, that awareness to. Is your fame, success, money, power, masculinity a cover-up for how insignificant you fear you are? Baby, that's not our fault. That's your fault. Look, you done talked yourself out of Doja Cat. See where that entitlement gets you? That impatience, that projection. She was on the way to see you, bruh. That sucks. That sucks. I am JustLatasha, and this was another Dissection. I'm here every Monday night live, 6 p.m. EST. Please see more of my work at JustLatasha.com. I am producing my sketch comedy web series, Just Latasha's Interactions, coming to you later this year, which I'm super excited about. You can see more of that on my social media at JustLatasha on Instagram, JustLatasha404 on Twitter. And this Sunday, we're going in for a full hour. I'll be speaking to some of you live on video to dissect Gunpowder Milkshake, the all-women-led ass-kicking action thriller featuring Angela Bassett. I'll be doing that on patreon.com/JustLatasha this Sunday. If you're a VIP patron, you're coming on here to talk about it with me live. So excited to be here with y'all. I thank you for another successful night. Can I get some hearts up in the chat? What's up, Christina? Simone says, and are you really a good guy if you just end up conforming anyway? Talking about you ain't have a choice. No, you didn't want to hurt yourself and you decided that saving women wasn't worth it. Sound too much like right. Go me. What's up, Tracy? Seems like there aren't many people talking about this show. I think it's so good. Latasha, I'm glad to see you work your magic on it. And he fumbled the back at the end. Showed it. He showed it. Thank you, Tracy. The show is fire. And I always try to keep up with what shows Twitter is talking about specifically. I always want to see what you guys are interested in so I know what to give back to you. But TV's slow as hell. Okay, TV is slow as hell. Simone says, yes, a lot of men's money and fame is that cover-up. It's a cover-up for insecurity. What's up, Kay? I'm going to have to check this show out. Seems interesting. Look, it's stupid, but if you look further into the conversations they're having about male sexuality, racism, Dave's space as a privileged white person in the hip hop space, like he actually drags himself and just like, I think it's a really cool show. I think it's really good. So I would suggest checking it out. I thank you guys for joining me live. I'll be back on Thursday with a piece of script. If you haven't checked out my Emmy nominations review, that is on my channel. That was my last video. Go check that out. And I'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye.